Najua watu wanasikiaga Farouk. Wanafikiria ni mtu utaenda upate ako na ofisi from moja pale kwa rais wetu. Mimi naona ofisi ya Farouk hata ni ile ya rais wetu wa Kenya. Kwa sababu huwezi fikia rais Farouk akisema no. Hata huyu deputy rais na rafiki yangu kufikia yeye Farouk lazima aseme yes.
Kama mjaye kusikia dictator ni Farouk Kibet. Na unajua yeye ana ofisi lakini hapo na corridor nyingine ambayo inaitwa the corridor of power.
Farouk Kibet has been President Ruto's right-hand man for over 27 years, but his brotherhood has not been left without scandals because they were together during the NYS scandal and the 2007 general election violence. So why does this guy seem to be very powerful? Why do ministers seem to tremble on the sight of him? What does he have? And what about that video of him mishandling CS of Treasury, John Bundy, our own expert, in public? Stick around because this is going to be wild, full of drama, and some very hard truths that you want to hear. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Also, ring that notification bell down here so that when I upload the next episode, you are always the first one to see it. First, let us set the stage. Where did this all come about? It started in Eldoret North when William Ruto wanted to become the MP of that area. Now, this is where they met with Farouk Kibet, and that is when they met with William Ruto. Farouk Kibet at that time was not always a big shot like he is today. Back then, he was just a guy with big dreams and a knack for mobilizing crowds. Initially, he did not support Ruto. He supported Ruto's opponent, Reuben Chesire, but when he met Ruto, something clicked. One time I read the Gazette on the Standard that Farouk Kibet met Ruto and he changed sides from Chesire to William Ruto, and William Ruto welcomed him with open hands. He told him, "I want you to be my brother." That moment was not just a bromance, it was a covenant. A 27-year-old covenant that will take Farouk Kibet from the streets of Tarbo to the corridors of State House. Fast forward to 2025, and Farouk Kibet is not just the president's assistant. He is the guy who decides who sees the president and when. Do you want a meeting with the president? Better get Farouk Kibet approval first. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua once said that I cannot meet the president unless Farouk Kibet says so. That is right, folks. The DP himself had to go through Kibet so that to see the president. Imagine being that powerful that even the number 2 in the country has to get through you to see the president. But Farouk is not a guy that schedules things or people who meet the president. He is a master strategist. Even during Ruto's campaign, he was the one organizing everything, deciding who speaks first and who speaks second, and how and what time each person gets. During their campaigns in 2022, he was filmed literally taking orders and ordering Johnson Modama, who was on the mic, and removing him from stage, and then ordering around people on what to do and what not to do. Even at one time, Didi Nyoro called him the real president, and at this point, I tend to believe it. He might be the president behind the scenes. So now let's get to the big question. Why does Farouk Kibet get ministers shaking just by seeing him? I mean, this guy does not even have an official office in the government. He is not a governor, he is not an MCA, not even a nominated MCA. So why does he have so much power? The answer lies in 3 words: loyalty, fear, and access. First, let us start with loyalty. Farouk Kibet has been with President Ruto for 27 years. That is longer than many marriages last. He has stuck with Ruto through thick and thin, even during the times of YK92 until 2022 general election. That kind of loyalty makes him untouchable. Ruto trusts him completely. Secondly, access. Farouk controls who sees the president and when. As you heard at the beginning of the video, Kiharu MP Didi Nyoro once said that Farouk Kibet's office is that one of the president. You can't see the president If Farouk says no, even Aden Duale, the former CS of Interior once said that if you had planned to go and eat lunch in State House and Farouk Kibet tells you to come on Tuesday, then you have to forgo that lunch and come to that Tuesday. Farouk is not just a gatekeeper. He is a power broker. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua recently dropped a bombshell saying that Farouk is like the core president. He basically said that everybody reports to Farouk Kibet, the Inspector General, the head of public service, and even cabinet secretaries. Ministers tremble at his very sight. And if you think that is an exaggeration, just look at what happened to John Bundy. Because today, a video went viral yesterday when showing the cabinet secretary for Treasury, John Bundy, our own expert, being manhandled by Farouk Kibet. Yes, you heard that right. Farouk Kibet was pushing John Bundy away from the carpet. Why? Apparently, it was reserved for the president. Scrolling through X, I realized that some people are saying that John Bundy was really humiliated, and others were considering asking John Bundy to consider resigning because of the kind of humiliation that is being put to him by the president's PA, Farouk Kibet. I don't know if there's verified information that John Bundy felt intimidated or humiliated, but if this is true, wow. Just wow. Imagine you are the guy in charge of Kenya's economy and you are being pushed around like a child on a playground. That is the kind of power that Farouk Kibet has. And this is not the first time that he has been caught flexing his muscle. In 2022, he allegedly slapped Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika after accusing her of being Jubilee Party mold. And during Jubilee rally, he ordered Senator Millicent Omanga to twerk in front of the crowd. Yes, you heard that right. And people were not happy about that. I mean, come on. Farouk, what next? Asking the CS for finance to just twerk on TikTok? But jokes aside, this incident shows us how Farouk Kibet is powerful and untouchable. He is not afraid to throw his weight around. Literally, he can do anything and nobody can ask him anything. Why? Because of Ruto's backing. And in Kenyan politics, that is a gold ticket. Now let us talk about another elephant in the room. Farouk Kibet's scandals. Because this guy has been caught in many scandals, but somehow he always comes out unscathed. First off, the 2007 general election violence. Fatou Bensouda, one of the ICC prosecutors, identified Farouk Kibet as one of the people who incited the violence and that caused 1,200 people to die. And somehow he was not caught and he was not even brought to justice. No charges were filed against him, and that is a big accusation hanging over your head. But here is the kicker. Despite all these controversies, Farouk still stands strong. No investigations, no arrests, nothing. What does Farouk Kibet's untouchability mean to Kenyans? Well, it's a double-edged sword, because Farouk Kibet's organizational skills of organizing the politicians has apparently helped Ruto to clinch power. He is a fixer, a strategist, and the guy that makes things done or gets things done. But on the other hand, his unchecked influence and past evil activities raises red flags to the Kenyans. When unelected figures like Farouk Kibet have so much power more than the elected officials or the government officials, causes a lot of deficiency in democracy. When ministers are afraid to face him or just stand next to him or are afraid to do something wrong next to him, it shows that it is promoting a culture of fear and not accountability. But I do know this. If Kenya wants change, we need to start questioning the Farouks of this world, not just the Rutos. Farouk Kibet is a controversial figure in Kenya. He is the guy who can slap a senator and the next Sunday he will raise millions for a church. But whether you love him or hate him, one thing is very clear. Farouk Kibet is not going anywhere. As long as Ruto is in power, Farouk Kibet will be right there next to him and wielding the same power, pulling the strings behind the scenes and making everyone, including the ministers and the deputy presidents, to be on their toes. So what do you think? Is Farouk Kibet a political genius or a dangerous shadow? Drop your thoughts on the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. If you have enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe and ring the notification bell so that next time when I upload another episode, you'll be the first one to watch it. But for now, peace.